United States Senator Jeff Merkley, the junior senator from Oregon, and one of the best members of the United States Senate, in my humble opinion, is on the line with us. Senator Merkley, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much. It's great to be with you, Tom.
Thank you. You have authored an op-ed piece over in the Huffington Post, and I'm assuming that this is part of a larger strategy or campaign that involves lobbying other members of your caucus and of Congress about what's going on in Afghanistan?
Absolutely. What I set out to do about 3 weeks ago was to have a large number of senators co-sign a letter to the president saying, seize this moment. We need to have a shift in strategy. We need to have sizable and sustained reductions in force in Afghanistan with the goal of getting all of our combat forces out of that country. And the result was that last week we were able to send a letter to the president with 27 members on that letter, 28 joined the day after. And for an issue this complex, that's a sizable number of senators saying we've looked at the fine print of the letter and we agree that a shift in strategy is necessary and we want our combat troops out. And hopefully the president will take that to heart as he develops and announces shortly his plans.
Now, there's been a lot of speculation about this, how many people he's going to draw down. We have about 100,000 in Afghanistan troops, is that right?
Yes.
And this morning when I woke up, when I got up, I subscribed to the Financial Times, the New York Times, and the Washington Post, and the Financial Times had an article saying that the best guess was he was going to pull down 10,000, which was about twice what was expected just a few weeks ago. And then I get in here to the radio studio and pull up the Daily Beast, and there's an article there saying that he's going to pull down 30,000, which was the amount of the so-called surge. Is there any sense of what the real numbers actually are, or for that matter, what they should be? If your plan is followed or your suggestion is taken, what in the best of all possible worlds do you think should be done, and how should it be done?
Well, I think we should have a drawdown of at least 15 to 25,000 in the next 6 months. We need to keep in mind that not only was there the surge of 30,000, but that was on top of a roughly doubling of forces earlier in the Obama administration. And so we've had a dramatic increase to accommodate this strategy of taking and holding villages. It is a strategy that ultimately is about creating a nation-building approach rather than a counterterrorism approach. It is inherently flawed and putting our folks at great risk, huge number of injuries, large number of deaths, and certainly a huge cost to the national treasury. And it's, as I said, it's inherently flawed, and we need to end it.
If we're going to do nation building, why not build a nation? It costs $1 million a year to field a soldier, and more than that to field somebody from Blackwater or one of these other private contractors, and their numbers are about equal to our soldiers. And yet it only costs $100,000 more or less to build a school in Afghanistan, maybe $300,000 to build a hospital. Why don't we reallocate at least a good chunk of that money to actually building infrastructure for that country? So when we step out, or for that matter, building Afghan industry that can build that, like we did with the Marshall Plan after World War II. We didn't go into Germany and have American companies build their infrastructure. We gave them or loaned them. It was both the money so that they could create their own cement plants and their own steel factories, their own machine tool companies, and then they could use that to rebuild their highways and rebuild their hospitals and rebuild their schools. Isn't that a more rational approach to nation building, or should we just get the hell out altogether and leave it to them?
There is a fair role for economic development, both in terms of the school side and certainly in terms of assisting businesses. But you do that by assisting folks in a direction they're inclined to go with their own plans, their own investment. What we're doing is spending $100 billion a year and it's could be as high as $120 billion a year in a country that has an economy of $10 billion. So this inherently corrupts the economy. Warps it in all kinds of twisted ways from the Afghan perspective. Hey, here's a moment where some foreign power is raining down money. It's our responsibility to grab as much of it as we can for as long as we can. That's not conducive to actually building sustainable institutions, be that sustainable businesses, a school system, certainly a government. And furthermore, the government, this strong central government we're building, is an affliction to the people. Every position is sold from the governorships on down sometimes as far as the school teachers. And people buy these positions because they can exploit them. The exploitation makes the government an affliction. It's an inherent contradiction. We've tried every approach to see if we can strip corruption from the system. It's not working. It's not going to work. And we need to recognize that we're building a system that doesn't serve the people. And in fact is a problem for the people. And it's quite frankly completely outside the tradition of the Afghan tribal world. They do not want a strong central government, so it's flawed in that way as well.
And according to the CIA fact book, before we started bombing Afghanistan, their GDP was $2 billion. So we're pouring so much money in. If we just, gave them a little bit of cash, we could double everybody's income in the country.
We could do an enormous amount if we simply were in that position of assisting the success of businesses, assisting the success of education, and then there would be local ownership. When you go in and you just build something, be it a highway or be it a school, folks are just going to tear it right back up if they don't have a personal commitment, a sense that it was their highway, their school, something that their heart is involved in.
My old friend Dick Gregory, back in the 80s, we were flying to Africa together, and he made the comment, he says, I don't understand why America's running around the world trying to shove our way of life down people's throats with a barrel of a gun. He says, when you got something good, you don't have to force it on people. If you've got something good, they will steal it. And I find it really interesting that in Egypt and Tunisia, two countries that we did not bomb, they stole democracy. They went out and got it on their own. Whereas the countries that we're bombing, it ain't working so well. Is there a fundamental recalibration necessary in our approach to promoting democracy? We have a minute left, Senator Merkley.
Well, not only is there this issue of corruption we've talked about, but there's also the problem that when people look out and say, hey, we're a largely Islamic nation, we don't like having a country halfway around the world that doesn't understand our religious traditions coming and telling us how to operate. And that is inherently flawed, and it's going to produce rejection. So we do need to be thoughtful about the fact that we can't just hold up our model and say this is the best way in the world. Take it, and if you won't take it, we'll make you take it.
Well, and even our model is very different from Sweden's or Switzerland's or Germany's or Argentina's.
And absolutely, and given the paralysis in the U.S. Senate, we have to ponder whether we've got our system perfected yet.
Yeah, we all have. I think every country, every democracy in the world has some work to do on it, and step by step. But you're fighting the good fight, and you're doing the great work in the Senate. Senator Jeff Merkley, the website Merkley, merkley.senate.gov. He's tweeting at @SenJeffMerkley, Jeff Merkley. Senator, thanks so much for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Tom.
Great talking to you.